And welcome to the Movie Madhouse. I'm Rob.
I'm James.
I'm Jason.
And our buddy.
And I'm Nick.
There we go. How y'all doing tonight?
Just fine.
Good stuff. I'm excited. That was an epic intro. I'm super ready to get started after that epicness that just happened.
Excellent. Well, the one thing we like to do with any guests we have is talk a bit about them. What have you been up to? Because we haven't seen each other in almost 5 years.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, lots happened. Well, I think last time we actually saw each other in person, I was probably still in London.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm in Toronto now. I did some like short film stuff, some horror stuff. I got to work on a couple features in terms of like directing, assistant directing, production related stuff. And then I would say just over a year ago, I was hired at Deluxe Post-Production. So I was a post-production coordinator on some films that you've probably heard of, like Star Wars in 1917 and Knives Out and that sort of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, and then since the past year of stuff that's been going on, I had to let that go for a while.
Yep.
So since then, I've been kind of just hanging out, catching up on movies that I maybe hadn't seen, and been doing a lot of voice stuff. So I'm producing some podcasts. I'm a co-host on one podcast, and we have another one in pre-production / production right now.
Nice.
Very cool.
Busy.
Yeah, I try to stay busy. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Pam says, "Hi, everyone."
Hi, Pam.
That was easy.
Hi, Pam.
So now let's get to our topic. Boom. Top 10 unmentioned great roles for great actors with Nick Ferwerda.
All right.
There
Exciting.
we go. And as always, when we start our list, we start with our guests. So Nick, what's your number 10?
Okay. Yeah. So this was a really hard list for me. So I was kind of focusing on lesser known movies starring great actors, right? It is kind of the route that I went. And the first one that I talked to a lot of my film friends about this list because I was struggling with like the order and everything. So I went with the one that people might maybe have heard of first, which was A Scanner Darkly, starring Keanu Reeves and Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, have you guys heard of that one?
I've heard
that Richard Linklater rotoscoping movie.
Yes, exactly that one. Yeah, it's so cool.
And yeah, that one was interesting. The Philip K. Dick based on, right?
Yes, exactly that. Yeah. Okay. So I'm glad that you guys are at least aware about this one, because I was scared because I know a lot of people who are super familiar with this movie, and then I know a lot of people who have never heard of it before. So I was trying to ride that wave of like, is it unknown? I don't really know.
Waking Life, I think, would be more unknown, but I know of it because that was his follow-up to Waking Life, where he did the same technology.
Yeah, well, I actually knew about Waking Life before I knew about A Scanner Darkly. I actually just discovered A Scanner Darkly like a year or two ago, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a semi-recent discovery for me. But yeah, it's super cool. Keanu Reeves, Robert Downey Jr., a couple other names in there that I'm probably forgetting as well. Yeah, I don't know. I think it was just really cool because of like the technology that they were using and the style that it was used. It's never been done in that way before, especially when you have Richard Linklater on the director slot. It's really cool.
And not really since either.
Yeah, no, I haven't really seen anything similar to that recently. It's all just kind of mocap animation and that sort of style of stuff now. Yeah, nothing rotoscoped.
I know I'd heard of it. I have not watched it, although I do recall sitting down to watch it, and then something came up, and I never did get back to it. So it's been on my list for a while.
Yeah, it's a really fun one. It definitely worth a check out, I think.
Pam even said, "Never heard of it, but I love Keanu, so I'll check it out."
Who doesn't love Keanu?
Exactly.
Don't ever worry about having a film on your list no one's heard of. That's half of James' list all the time.
Okay, perfect. I figured that would be most of my list here too. So good.
Jason, number 10.
All right, now you're not going to hear anything obscure from me, really. Maybe one, but for my number 10, I did struggle with the order on this a little bit, but one of the first ones that came to mind when I came up with this topic was John Travolta as Edna Turnblad in 2007's Hairspray.
Yes.
You have a very strange obsession with that movie.
Well, my wife loves it, and I've grown to love it. It's just so much fun. But Travolta's turn as Edna Turnblad. Now I know that's the traditional way for that role to be played, but it was just so adorable. Him and walking together was just totally adorable.
Yeah, I've not seen that movie in a very long time. I remember I watched it pretty close to when it came out and never revisited it. But yeah, I know that one.
And see, I agree. That's a great role for John Travolta. Like, he nailed it. But
Definitely.
I've watched it twice, so I couldn't put it on my list for that reason. My list always goes by movies I watch a lot.
Well, but I've watched that movie twice in this calendar year. So,
well, there you go.
The year is young.
Exactly. But it's one of my wife's favorites. So
amazing.
Well, James, dazzle us with a new movie.
My number 10 would be Steve Carell in The Way Back.
Oh, I love that movie.
It's a fantastic movie, but it's probably the first time I saw Steve Carell in a role where he's playing just a complete asshole. He's the stepfather who's just great to the wife, but just a dick to the kids.
Yeah, he sucks in that movie. I mean, he's really good, but the character just sucks. He is not a fun person.
I've not heard of that one. When you said Steve Carell, I thought you were going to say Fox.
Oh my God, this movie is hilarious, mainly for Sam Rockwell.
Okay, so it's a comedy.
Because it's like a coming of age comedy. The kid starts hanging out at the water park, and one of the lifeguards at the water park is Sam Rockwell, and he'd be like the coolest guy to hang out with ever, and he takes the kid under his wing. Trust me, it's awesome.
The way back. Okay, all right.
The way back is meant to be the very, very back of the station wagon. They used to face out the back window.
Okay, I remember those days.
Yeah.
Those were fun.
I got stuck in the way back.
All right. Well, mine, and I have to admit, I've only ever watched this movie twice, but I loved his performance in this role. From 2013, Michael Douglas in Behind the Candelabra.
Oh,
okay. That's actually one I have not seen.
Oh, him and Matt Damon I think their performances are amazing.
It's a well-made movie. It's a very well-made movie.
Absolutely. If you haven't seen it, check it out, even if just once, just to see their performance.
Cool. Okay.
All right. Number 9.
Back to me. Okay, so I went with someone's probably his first performance that's pretty memorable. It's Tom Cruise and I guess Tim Curry in 1985's Legend. Yeah, the classic fantasy movie that probably, in my opinion, probably kickstarted Tom Cruise. Well, he was still a teenager when he was filming that one, I'm pretty sure. And it's, in my opinion, one of Tim Curry's most memorable roles as well. He plays this Hellboy-looking devil creature. And
is it Darkness or something?
Yeah.
He's got these massive horns. I know I've only seen parts of it. I know it's a Ridley Scott movie.
Yeah, it's Ridley Scott. It's really long. I think it's a 2.5, 3 hour movie. But that's also one that I kind of discovered recently as well. I found it. I found a copy of it at a video store or something, and it was a really pretty case, and I was like, "Ooh, I want that!" So I bought it, and and now I've seen it probably 5 or 6 times, and it's really good. It's fun.
I have not watched that movie. I haven't watched that movie, I swear, in probably 30 years.
Yeah, it's been that long for me too. But yeah, it's not his breakout, but it was darn close because Risky Business was 1983.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking Risky Business was the first thing I ever heard Tom Cruise's name.
Yeah, that's what put him on the map. But I think Legend showed that he did have a few acting chops.
Yeah, definitely.
My brain's always felt like Legend came after Risky Business, so that's weird.
I think it.
It did.
I'd have
It
to
was,
look. I think
yeah,
it was.
2 year difference. I think.
Yeah. 83
because-
for Risky Business, 85 for Legend.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so it did come out after. Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
Yep, you're saying ish.
okay, ish.
Jason, number 9.
My number 9, more recent one here. This is Daniel Craig as Joe Bang in 2017's Logan Lucky.
Cool.
You know, I've only ever seen Daniel Craig playing either Bond or like a serious kind of guy. This Joe Bang character is so friggin' redneck. It's amazing. And I love the whole damn movie, a redneck heist movie. What's not to love? But Daniel Craig kind of steals the show.
I think I saw that one right when it came out, and I don't remember a lot about that, but it's pretty fun from what I remember. Yeah.
And see, that's where I have a hard time. If a movie comes out and I go to the theater and watch it a couple years, I don't remember it. It's like, oh, how much did that really entertain me?
Yeah.
You should check out the movie The Jacket, Jason, with Adrian Brody. Daniel Craig has a small role in there as a patient at a mental asylum.
Oh,
That is pretty entertaining.
okay, The Jacket. I'll have to look for that one. All right.
Very cool. I have to watch it. Eventually, I'll watch it.
Logan Lucky is fantastic, though. If you want a nice, a fun heist movie, check out Logan Lucky. You won't be disappointed.
Aren't all heist movies fun?
But
No
this one's
baking.
It's got a fun vibe to it, not like a sillier vibe to it.
Awesome.
Especially Daniel Craig's accent.
Yeah.
I've seen that in the trailer. That's good. Yes. All right, James, number 9.
My number 9 is Ray Fiennes in The Good Thief. And this was the Neil Jordan movie with Nick Nolte playing like a retired thief who's also a heroin addict who goes back for one more score. But he also rips off this art dealer, this sleazy art dealer who ends up coming back to threaten his life because he found out he ripped him off. And the sleazy art dealer is played by Ray Fiennes.
Cool. I love Ray Fiennes.
Which-
So that's a fun one.
Yeah. He's in about 2 scenes in the movie, but makes an impact.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
I don't think I've ever heard it.
And
Heard
see,
of it.
Nick Nolte, I love, and I thought I'd seen everything.
That's why I'm here.
See what I mean?
10 new movies to watch after this is done, eh?
Oh,
Yeah, pretty much.
every episode, okay? Well, see, my number 9, and it's weird to think of this, but when this movie came out, he had never done anything like this. Now he's kind of known for it, but this is the role that showed he knows comedy. From the year 2000, Robert De Niro in Meet the Parents.
Ah,
Cool.
Oh yeah.
It
I-
almost made my list. Like it didn't even make my honorable mentions, but it was close. It was in the running, even though I have a personal hate for those films. It's yeah.
I love his role in there. I have nipples. Can you milk me? You know, that whole cat scene. Just, I watched that film quite a bit. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that was his first real comedy. He had always been the hitman, the guy, the mob, you know, like everything. And then Meet the Parents.
Actually, I think you might be wrong, and not that that this doesn't fit the list.
Are you talking about Midnight Run?
Oh, his mic's gone off for some reason. That's so weird.
Analyze This. I think did that not come up before?
Oh,
Okay, now you got me wondering.
that might be
Because I almost think Analyze This was in the 90s. Oh, could be okay.
Oh my God, 1999. It's technically 1 year before. Yeah. Okay. I stand corrected. Oh, I love how he taught the cat to use the toilet.
But you don't flush the toilet.
Exactly. That's the thing I think I like about that one a little more, because I have watched Analyze This a couple times, but there's just so much quotability from Meet the Parents. You know,
That's very true.
Honestly, the cat with the toilet, and why you don't flush that toilet. That's the only thing I remember from the movie.
Really?
Yes.
Dude.
I have a personal hate for those movies because of what happened at the local theater long before your theater, James.
What is that?
What happened?
Oh, is that where they yanked it for another movie?
They yanked Blade 2 to put in either Meet the Parents or Meet the Fockers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
Blade 2 was only here for 3 friggin' days.
Oof.
And that
That's
movie
not
was
enough
amazing.
Oh no. Okay, I remember that.
Yeah. So there's my hate.
Fair enough. Number 8, Nick.
All right, this is a fun one. So it's Timothy Oliphant. I love Timothy Oliphant in The Girl Next Door.
Oh, yes. That was the first movie I think I ever saw him in.
I think me too.
Really? You didn't see him in Scream 2?
I don't remember.
I forgot he
Scream
was in
2.
that movie.
I only watched Scream 2 once.
Deadwood.
I don't know. I just find this is such a memorable role for him. Just like he plays
such a
this, like,
dirtbag.
yeah, he's such this like sleazy porn producer, and he's such a dick. But at the same time, I love everything about that character. It's
Timothy Olyphantastic, and that's when he started earning the name.
Yeah, that's so true. And yeah, he's been killing it since. He's probably one of my favorite actors still. Yeah, I don't know. There's just something about him in that role. And that movie in general, I think it has some pretty fun performances with everyone in it. Alicia Cuthbert's fun in that movie. And I actually watched that one super recently, like a week or two ago, and I found out Olivia Wilde's in it.
Really?
For one scene.
Wow.
Yeah, she's in it for one scene. She's one of the people at the high school that Timothy Oliphant has a scene with. It's like the 3 popular girls, and he's like, "Oh, you guys ever take pictures or you ever model?" Yeah, Olivia Wilde is one of those 3 people, and cool. I had no idea. But I was going through IMDb, and I was like, "Olivia Wilde's in this? Where?" And it took me a while to figure it out. But when I did, I was like, "Oh, okay."
And it's also one of my favorite James Remar roles.
Yeah.
Who? Oh, Remar. Oh, yeah. Okay. I love Chris Marquette in that one. He's just like, learn to love it. apparently playing a parody of Eli Roth, I'm told.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Oh yeah,
because he's the film student with the crew, and he's like, "Minions, go!"
Yeah, yeah. And he's like addicted to porn in it. Paul Dano's great in that too. I just love young, awkward Paul Dano. It's so fun just to watch. I don't know.
And now I'm gonna have to rewatch that movie sometime soon.
Trust me, the juice is worth the squeeze. Okay, watch it. All right, that means it is number 8 for Jason.
Yes, and for this one, we are going with The Rock, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Elliot Wilhelm in 2005's Be Cool. You know, when The Rock was first breaking into Hollywood, he wasn't just The Rock that we all know and love now. No, he did different things. And this Elliot Wilhelm character, he was openly homosexual, but he was a bodyguard to a wannabe rap mogul, Vince Vaughn. At one point, he tries to intimidate John Travolta by breaking into his house in the middle of the night, and he puts on a music, like something on the TV. He puts on his music video, which was him dressed in the most rainbow-colored cowboy outfit possible, singing "You Ain't Woman Enough to Take My Man."
I don't think I've seen this.
This is Be Cool, the sequel to Get Shorty.
Yeah,
it's not a great follow-up to Get Shorty, but The Rock and Vince Vaughn are standouts.
Yes, they are. And yeah, you only get a tiny smidge of badass Rock at the great near the end, just the tiniest smidge. But otherwise, he is totally different from anything else you've seen.
That's true. That's very true.
And from the sound of since as well.
Pretty much, yeah. he definitely got more serious, and now he's the Beast. So
Yeah, literally, he's Smolder Bravestone. Okay, I can't picture him wearing flamboyant colors. James, number
Also
8.
a great movie.
Oh yeah, I love both
The
of them.
Jumanji ones, I love those.
yes,
And see,
yeah.
I wanted to hate them because I love the
Me
original.
too. Oh yeah, I'm right there with you.
Man, they're so much fun.
But yeah, they made it work though. You know, they
Yeah.
still held on to some of the magic from the original. That's why they're so great.
Definitely.
Yes. James, number 8.
My number 8, and I know he's done a few of these roles since, or had done a few of these roles since, but this was the first one where I saw where I was like, oh my God, he's playing an actual bad guy. This was Robin Williams in Insomnia.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
And I know around there, and I know what really. Oh my goodness!
I know I've tried to watch it numerous times, but something always gets in the way. I have not watched that whole movie. No.
And I know around that time he also did 1 hour photo, which is another completely in the opposite direction, another departure for him. But this was the first one where I saw where he kind of went the dark route.
Oh, absolutely. I think he was actually had said in an interview or something that he didn't want to do anything like that while his kids were younger. He waited until his children were somewhat grown, and then he started to go down the darker routes again.
Oh yeah,
that's why he switched to so much family-friendly stuff.
Yeah, I think I also read that somewhere, which I guess makes sense, especially if your kids are watching your stuff. But yeah. It's been a while since I've seen that movie, but I remember it being really cool.
Mm-hmm. And you know, once you start getting a taste of that Disney money,
it's hard to stop. Yeah,
it's a drug all its own.
That makes Pam says, "You think that was the moment men started man crushing on The Rock?"
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
I'm not saying that I was looking that hard, but it did look pretty good. So
this makes my number 8 just a little awkward because it's from 2002, and it's 1 hour photo with Robin Williams.
See, there you go.
But like you said, and this is the first one I remember. I saw Insomnia a little bit later, so in my head, this one was first. But you're right; they came out backwards.
Yeah,
but yeah. It was neat seeing him as that bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's why literally I almost put Harrison Ford on here for What Lies Beneath, but I've only seen it twice, so doesn't rank on my list. Which is weird for a Harrison Ford movie.
No kidding.
But yeah, 1 hour photo and Insomnia. I love both of those films.
I really do need to see Insomnia.
Yeah, it's good. It is.
It's
good.
really good. Yeah,
and it's a Christopher Nolan movie. I mean,
exactly.
I actually forgot that he did that. But yeah, no, it's very good.
That was one of the, I think there was 2 that really threw him into the limelight, and that was one of them.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
It was his follow-up to Memento, actually.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, Nick, number 7.
All right, another fun one. Also a movie I haven't seen until recently, but it's Terry Crews and White Chicks.
Oh.
Which I always forget about that role, and then someone reminds me about that movie, and I'm always like, oh yeah, Terry Crews was really good in that. I don't even care about what else goes on, but he's just so good. He's so funny.
He steals the movie, absolutely.
Oh, he really does. I don't know, there's just something about him being this overcompensating, like kind of high morale, just like, I don't know. It's just, I haven't seen anything like that from him before, and I don't think I have since. And it's just so fun. It's so fun.
I think the closest thing in that direction from him, you might a little bit maybe from Blended. Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore in Africa. You know, that's kind of in that direction, but not even close to what fully he gave.
I haven't seen
that. But at least White Chicks is good. I'm not a huge fan of Blended. It's it's just not my, I don't know. I remember watching like half of it and then being like, I don't know about this. And I think I turned it off. But yeah, I don't know.
Terry Crews owned that. Amazing.
He still
He
does
really-
to this day. He's referenced that song so many times in other projects. He did Lip Sync Battle. He did a rendition of it. Like,
Yeah.
he totally owns that.
Yeah. I didn't watch White Chicks until last year.
If
That was
only
my
if
first
only
time
you
ever
could forget about the rest of the movie. Then
yeah. Talking about it now, maybe wouldn't be made. It's a little bit problematic in
Oh,
parts, but yeah, it's really fun. That part is just unforgettable.
Ryan said this just before we switch, but need a dark Mrs. Doubtfire turn. Haha, great bad guy a la John Lithgow. And it would be interesting to see a 1 hour photo or Insomnia with Mrs. Doubtfire, because that would just make it far creepier.
Would that be like a Bates Motel prequel type thing?
Yeah, almost. Yeah. Oh man. What? Where did I? Oh, I put it in the wrong spot. I put yours number 6. Nick, sorry, I'll move that. Maybe if the computer will freaking cooperate.
My number 6 is very different from my number 7. So
Okay, here we go. Where is it? Cut and put it here. So Jason, number 7.
Okay, now this I will admit this might be a bit of a stretch for the great actor part, but it's definitely a different role for this actor in all the things you've seen him in. So I'm going with number 7 is Kevin Nash as Guard Engelhart in 2005's The Longest Yard. Kevin Nash, always the big burly, a bodyguard, a security guard, a badass in some way. But to see him go from that into what he delivers through the entire second half of that film is comedy gold. He rides that estrogen wave all the way.
again, I forgot he was in that movie too. But there's another Terry Crews one for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cheeseburger Eddie.
Cheeseburger Eddie. Oh my god.
Can you look at the people that were in it at that time? Though?
Oh yeah. It's stacked.
Yeah, that is a stacked cast.
Even Austin really pulled it out in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Although
he wasn't playing a far cry off of what he always does, but it fit perfectly for the role.
Yeah, because everything he'd done up to that point was action movies.
Yep.
And here he was just a guard, and it still was believable. I thought that was good. And of course, a cameo by Courtney Cox at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
I've watched that movie I don't know how many times. It's got the late great Cloris Leachman.
Yes.
Yeah. And now I'm gonna have to watch that movie again.
Right. James, number 7.
My number 7's from 2002. It is James Vanderbeek in the role of Sean Bateman in The Rules of Attraction.
Cool.
Go from like
Great
Dawson's Creek and always like Varsity Blues, the good guy, to the younger brother of Patrick Bateman.
That is a really
and the only thing missing from him is like the killing spree. He's basically the same emotionless sociopath as his older brother. He's just in college and hasn't quite hit that mark yet.
Is that actually connected to American Psycho?
Yeah, he's the younger brother of Patrick Bateman. The book that this was based on was actually written before American Psycho, and Patrick Bateman appears in the book just as his older brother in a few chapters. And then they did American Psycho, where it turns into like he's this big serial killer. So Sean Bateman actually appeared first.
Wow. I had no idea they were connected.
That's why I'm here. But yeah, it's a completely different performance than almost anything you'd seen James Vanderbeek in.
Well, Ryan,
that was a pretty big turning point for him too. He didn't really done anything like that before that
Dawson's
movie
Creek.
either. Yeah.
Yeah, Dawson's Creek, Varsity Blues, and then that was it. Yeah.
Jason, this one's for you. This is the fun thing about the comments. We're always just a little ahead of what they're saying. Ahead. Great pick and picture. Talking about The Longest Yard.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he is anyway. I'm not sure. Okay.
They both are.
Yeah.
Sorry?
They're both good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Although I've never seen The Rules of Attraction.
It is a good movie.
I might try it. I've seen your picks. My number 7 is one with Matthew McConaughey, and I love him. But then I saw this film.
Oh, is this what I think it is?
2013, Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh,
Yes,
I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say Killer Joe.
I thought you were going to say Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh,
All good McConaughey movies.
He said also a Mila Kunis sequel to American Psycho. Do not watch.
oh no, no, off the screen. No, that is an awful movie.
But with Dallas Buyers Club, what he did to himself to get into that role was insane, you know. And then he still had great acting while doing this. Like, I don't eat in a day, I go crazy. So I admire him greatly for that film.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was in very interesting transformation, I think.
Yeah.
I've definitely never seen anything like it, but I don't know if it's interesting in a good way or in like
Christian Bale and The Machinist.
Yeah, except that according to Matthew McConaughey, his transformation was very monitored and gradual, so no one really noticed a difference. Christian Bale's was more, I'd say, dramatic or
extreme.
Extreme, yeah.
Right.
Okay, number 6.
Ooh.
All right. So at my number 6, I have Daniel Radcliffe in Kill Your Darlings.
I haven't seen this.
Okay, cool. So it's a really interesting one. So he filmed this during at the same time as I think either the second last or the last Harry Potter. And he's a poet. It's based on a true story, and it's about a couple poets right around the World War II era who are gay and basically trying to hide that fact that they're gay poets in the middle of World War II. It's based on a true story. I forget the character. I forget, or not the character. I forget the poet that he's playing. I forget the poet's name, but really interesting watch. And I think it's totally different than anything he has done, or definitely up until that point had done.
Allen Ginsberg. That's who he plays. Allen Ginsberg.
Yes.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Ben Foster is in that?
Oh yeah, that movie is stacked. Dane DeHaan, Elizabeth Olsen, Ben Foster,
Michael C. Hall.
Yeah, it's stacked.
Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Give it a watch. It's also gorgeous. It looks so good.
What did it get? 6.5 on IMDb. That's really good.
It's I think it's worth a watch. It's I don't know. I really like Daniel Radcliffe. I think
I thought you were going to say Horns. So
also a good one. I didn't really like the ending of Horns, but I did really enjoy that movie. And then I also was considering Swiss Army Man, which he was in, which is a really fun one. But I don't know. There's just something about Kill Your Darlings. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it was pretty memorable to me in the moment, and I still think about it. So yeah,
nice,
very cool.
Yeah, visually too, it's just really good.
Back when I said, I don't eat for a day, I go crazy. Good old Tom here says you won't like Rob when he's hangry. Thanks, Tom. That support. Jason, number 6.
All right, my number 6. Now, this is one that, I've brought up on this podcast before, but it's lesser known for sure. We're going with Sean William Scott as Ben McEwen in 2002 Stark Raving Mad.
Oh, another one I haven't seen.
It's a heist movie, and he is the straight man and that came out at a time when he was Stifler, and that was it. He was Stifler and nobody else. To see him as the straight man who's got everything under control, is really weird, but he pulled it off beautifully in this really fun, crazy heist movie.
Interesting, because that would have been around the same time as the second or third American Pie and Old School.
That's what I mean.
Right.
That seems like a waste to have him as a straight man.
But
yeah,
it worked for this movie, though.
You should see him. You see those movies, then you go back to the first Final Destination movie, and he's kind of like the friend that tags along that they all just kind of crap on or whatever.
Yeah.
He's far from the cool guy.
Okay,
I
that's
forgot
true.
he was in Final Destination
So did
too.
I. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, it's been so long since I've seen any of the Final Destination movies, though. Like,
Yeah, that's true too.
it's been a long time.
I'm not even sure if I watched more than 2 of them.
And that's the fun part too, though. Sometimes is when you see someone like, say, Elizabeth Olsen now, and you go back and realize, geez, you watched 4 of her movies, but you had no idea at that point.
Oh yeah, I actually she's on my list closer to the number 1 slot. Actually, yeah.
Ooh.
Very cool.
A little tease.
All right, James, number 6.
My number 6 is from 1999, and it's Owen Wilson, who playing a serial killer in the movie The Minus Man.
Sweet. That's a really fun one.
And it's just a completely dark, serious turn for him. Who do you have in there? Sheryl Crow, you have Dwight Yoakam, you have Janine Garofalo. And that's another great cast, but it's just like a completely dark turn for him after literally anything else he's done.
Yeah, I don't think he's done anything like that since either. Not that I can remember, anyways. I'm probably wrong, but I honestly can't think of a single thing that's...
No, everything almost I've seen, except for that one dog movie.
Yeah.
Crap.
Marley and
Me.
Marley and Me, that's
Yeah.
it. Everything else has been comedic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And even Marley and Me had bits of comedy. It was just really sad at the end.
Yeah, see, it might be more comedic. I just remember the end.
Well, yeah,
That's all everybody knows.
Exactly.
That broke me. My number 6 is from 2004, and it was a departure for this guy because he's always comedic. He'd been on a sitcom for years as the comedic guy, did a reality type show playing tricks on people, but when this movie came out, it put a more serious edge on him. Ashton Kutcher in The Butterfly Effect.
Nice, Paul.
Oh, nice.
That's good.
Amazing movie.
Yeah, I love that story. You know, how he blacks out as a kid and then it all loops back around. Yeah.
As soon as you said prank show, I was like, it's Ashton Kutcher.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I meant. He was joking and like everything was joke, comedy, blah, and then he did this.
He was everybody in so long. Even in his prank show, he was just the buddy. I don't know. He was just like the goofy, I'm gonna play a prank on you, and he was that in that 70s show too, for the most part.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so that puts us to number 5.
All right, these are I'm really excited for these ones. Okay, so number 5, I had a really hard time with the top 5. The Art of Self-Defense with Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Okay,
That is a weird ass movie.
I love this movie so much. I actually I was on a podcast earlier last year that like dissected movies, and this is the one I brought because it's so different for him. It's so just cold a lot of the time. Like it's just so just plain. I'm trying to think of like a good word to describe it. It's just nothing, everything's fine, and then all of a sudden it's done and you're like, I'm broken and I don't even know what to say. It goes from 0 to 100 quicker than I've seen any other movie go from 0 to 100. It's insane. Yeah, it's so good. Jesse Eisenberg absolutely destroys that movie, and I like seeing him in these sort of, because he's so good at playing goofy, nerdy, but
Zombieland characters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like Adventureland and just
but
all of those like kind of comedy ones. But the difference with this one is he's helpless, goofy, like doofy, not goofy, but doofy. It's like very.
It's because there's so many actors that all can do that awkward nerd shtick.
Definitely.
So he, to finally see one of them, any of them, breaking and doing something a little bit different it stands out.
Yeah, it was so good. The basic premise is he gets jumped or mugged one night, and he's like petrified to leave his house. And then he finds a karate center where he starts taking lessons to basically practice self-defense. So if that happens again, he would know how to defend himself. And then you kind of just find out that the karate school is a little bit more backwards than maybe it should be, and it kind of just keeps growing from there. I don't even want to say anything more than that because it's so much. It's worth the watch. That should be, it's so.
It is weird, and you're right. It jumps out of nowhere. It takes a sharp turn.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for saving it on this one because I haven't seen it. But if you want to go into, spoilers, we may have a little thing we can throw up just to warn people.
Okay.
You want to.
I don't know. I almost don't want to because I want you guys to be like, "Whoa, that's crazy." But
I think I'm watching it tonight. I really do.
Okay, well then I'm not saying anything.
Right.
You've gotten everything out of me you're going to get out of me for that movie. Just know Jesse Eisenberg's incredible.
Alessandro Nivola.
Yeah, and then
I even like his Lex Luthor, so I love Jesse.
Yeah, and then there's the female protagonist in that movie. She's pretty she's relatively known as well. I just forget her name. I want to find it.
I can't remember.
It's
Alessandro.
Imogen Potts.
Imogen Poots.
Oh
yeah, her. She's in the Green Room. Is I think what she's most known for.
Oh, she's awesome. She's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's the female protagonist in The Art of Self-Defense, and actually a buddy of mine was in that movie, who I worked with on a film, which is really cool. Didn't even know that at the time, and then the movie came out and I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, I know that guy." It's really cool. Yeah, so it's really good. Just 10 out of 10. Watch. It's to this day one of my favorite movies ever.
Now I'm interested in the top 4.
Nice.
Jason, number 5.
All right, my number 5. This is my first woman who makes the category. For some reason, there are just not as many female performances that stood out for this list. But I'm going to go with Helen Mirren as Victoria in Red from 2010.
That's a cool one.
Prim and proper, Helen Mirren, quality British actress. She's a badass.
Helen Mirren is amazing. She is
one of the most graceful assassins you'll ever see.
Her and Brian Cox in those 2 movies.
Mm-hmm.
There's another movie that she was in recently. I'm just trying to think of the name of it. The Good Liar. It came out
I want to see that one. That's her and Ian McKellen, isn't it?
Yeah. It's so good.
I heard that was good. We had that for about a week, I think.
Oh yeah. It's really twisted. It's one of those movies that will kind of make you think you know everything and then reveal that you know nothing. Which is those are the best. So it's to throw another one with Helen Mirren in it with Red. The Good Liar is really good.
Very cool.
Nice pick. James.
Oh, okay. My number 5 is from 2006. It is Jim Caviezel, who has played Jesus of all people, playing Carol Orstad, the domestic terrorist in Deja Vu, the Denzel Washington time travel movie.
I don't think I know that.
What? It's a Tony Scott film. What?
Yeah, I don't. Oops.
I know. I've never actually watched it. I've heard of it.
It's the one he did after Man on Fire with Tony Scott. He's going back in time to stop a terrorist attack that blows up a huge ferry and and another woman who got killed by this terrorist, who played by Jim Caviezel, who by and large plays very nice, wholesome guys. Like I said, Jesus.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but yeah, that one's a pretty stacked cast because you have Denzel Washington, Jim Caviezel, Paula Patton, Val Kilmer, Adam Goldberg, Eldon Henson, Bruce Greenwood, like a bunch of people in that one. But it was just strange to see such a good guy playing such a bad guy.
Ella Fanning was in it too.
After you explain it, I definitely have heard of, but yeah, have never seen that movie.
That's a good one.
It is a good one.
Okay, well, my number 5 is the only one on my list that actually nominates 2 people from the film for this category. It was from 1993, and I watched this thing on a loop, usually at least once a week. Yeah. And it's for Brad Pitt and Gary Oldman. 1993's True Romance. You have Brad Pitt as the ultimate stoner. And then Drexel, Gary Oldman, the black man in a white body. Like, he kills that role.
I so badly wanted to consider
You just do
that,
this to get me going on True Romance quotes, don't you?
I really, really wanted to include it, but I could not put Gary Oldman on this list because Gary Oldman's done it all. There's no such thing as an off-kilter role. There's no such thing as a departure. Gary Oldman's done it all.
No, that's it. Gary Oldman is this list because every role he does is different.
Yeah.
Other than the Batman.
Oh man.
But I watched.
I think he's Charlie Bronson.
And yeah,
I need to go back and watch that now.
Dude, yeah.
It's been a while. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I always bring this up every time we talk about this movie. It's the cast that was in there: Christian Slater, Patricia Arquette, James Gandolfini, Christopher Walken, Dennis Hopper, Val Kilmer, Michael Rappaport, Bronson Pinchot. Just, it's insane the number of big people that are in this film.
That's why I'm so pretty.
It worked. All right, number 4.
All right. I will bet money that none of you have seen this movie. It came out in 2016, and it's Oscar Isaac in Lightning Face.
I've never heard of that.
I knew it. So this is a short film, and I had to include a short film because he was filming this. He filmed this after Star Wars was done. This is not like a pre-famous role for Oscar Isaac. This is just pure gold, starring an amazing actor. It's like 20 minutes. And it's got Oscar Isaac and Kristen Wiig is in it too, actually. Just her voice though. And it's basically about a guy who has depression and some bipolar disorders who goes and hooks up with his girlfriend and then locks himself in his apartment for a weekend. And you basically get to see that weekend from start to finish and how like his disorders kind of play with the sadness that's going on in his life. It's really interesting. It's like satirical comedy. It's 20 minutes and free online. It's worth a watch. I guarantee no one watching this has ever heard of it, but you all should. It's really, and I think it was nominated for Oscar short category.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm almost positive it was.
If not, it should have been.
Yeah.
I gotta check that out. He's one of those people that I loved but didn't know who he was until Star Wars.
Oh, he's in my all-time favorite movie. Inside Llewyn Davis. I love Inside Llewyn Davis.
I haven't seen that.
Oh well, there's another one for Oscar Isaac to add to the list.
I was gonna.
It's a good Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
I don't know. Honestly, it's not even their best movie, but for whatever reason, it's my favorite movie ever. I love it. I don't know why. It's just visually so nice. It's him singing. He's like a folk musician.
He does a great job singing. Have you ever seen? Okay, no, I'm pointing to you. Have you ever seen the movie 10 Years? It was about a high school reunion, but it stars like Oscar Isaac.
Your finger did this. Who exactly are you referring?
This guy, Diagonal Nick.
Oh, me, yeah. So yeah, no, I've seen 10 Years. Yeah.
Yeah, did you see Oscar Isaac performing in front of his friends at the reunion? The movie,
really
yeah. I saw that long before I saw Inside Llewyn Davis. So yeah, that proves he's a very talented singer.
Well, and no one remembers this as well, but he was in Sucker Punch, that Zack Schneider movie.
Yes!
I remember.
He does a cover of Love is a Drug.
He does. Yeah.
And it's so good. Like, he sings a lot, and he's really good.
He's a Juilliard actor.
Yeah.
The one that I was referencing earlier for Sucker Punch, because I remembered that character vividly, but I had no idea what his name was. And then when Star Wars came out, boom, Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, he's all the rage all of a sudden. Yeah, he's got an Annihilation. He's done a lot.
Ryan Haskell said my top 10 would be filled with Walken. I'm more cowbell like that. All right, Jason, number 4.
All right, my number 4. This one's really fresh, like a year old fresh. I'm going to go with Ewan McGregor as Roman Sionis, a.k.a. Black Mask, in Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of
Oh,
John
yes!
Harvey Quinn.
I forgot about that.
I hate how long that title is. But his turn as the villain Black Mask in that movie is just so insanely fun and over the top. It just fit perfectly.
It's a very good one.
I don't care that he choose the scenery. It works.
He is so over the top fun in that. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a Ewan McGregor film that I don't like.
Well,
Also
that's true. And we should, it goes without saying that all of these people are actors. This is what they do. We just sometimes don't get to see them do this. So
they need that special role just to highlight what they can do.
Exactly. Goes on to the demo reel, right?
Exactly. Okay, James, number 4.
My number 4 is from 2013, and it was the first time I had ever. This is probably the most evil, one of the most evil characters I've ever seen on screen, and this was Cameron Diaz in The Counselor. And while it's a very, very bleak movie and really no one gets out of this unscathed, she's one of the ones who does, but she's also the architect of a lot of bad things that happen in the movie. And she has zero redemption value in this movie and looks hot while she's doing it, but she literally is like pure evil throughout this.
Really?
Oh,
I remember that vaguely, but she is the part that I remember from that movie.
Yeah, you just get chills when she's on screen. It's just like, oh god, no good can come of this.
Wow. Cameron Diaz?
Cameron Diaz from Annie. Yes.
You had to go there.
Yep. In the end,
just 1 week, James. Come on.
I haven't mentioned Annie in months. What are you talking about?
You got to push my button.
There's a little bit of hate for Annie.
I was going to say My Best Friend's Wedding. Sorry, I picked the wrong one.
Yes, you did.
No, you did not. My number 4, off topic now, from 1993, one of the most iconic roles for this actor. And he'd never done it since because, well, it's a period piece. So you don't get this chance to play this character very much. But again, 1993, it's Val Kilmer from Tombstone.
Oh,
okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's that is an interesting role for him. Yeah,
he had the best.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Yes. Now
I like when he does the thing with the cup.
Yes. Yes. Really, just cute side note. I actually got Michael Biehn to do that for Cameron with his cup.
What?
Yep. But yeah, I love Val in that movie. I watched it actually just yesterday. I watched Tombstone. And yeah, I know it's a very not factual movie, as opposed to Wyatt Earp, which is deadly accurate.
Which is not nearly as entertaining as Tombstone, though.
Exactly. Because even
as much as I love Kevin Costner, it's really not as good.
Yep. And Dennis, why am I drawing a blank?
Which one, Wyatt Earp or Tombstone?
Wyatt Earp plays Doc Holliday. Dennis
Quaid.
Quaid, there we go. And I love Dennis Quaid. But his Doc Hopper or Doc Holliday was not very interesting character. Like literally, that character pulled me out of that film a lot. But maybe that's just because I expected Doc Holliday's Val Kilmer, Yeah,
it's more of a sweeping epic than a blockbuster shoot 'em up, I guess. Yeah.
An action western. That's because that's what Tombstone is.
Yeah.
It made me go out and find actual history on it, but I love that movie. Sam Elliott, Bill Paxton, everybody. Okay, enough of that commercial. Nick, number 3.
All right, so here's my Elizabeth Olsen. It's also this is a double nom. So it's Elizabeth Olsen and Jeremy Renner in Wind River.
Ooh.
If you guys have seen that one, it is another one of my favorites. It's so good. It's pretty recent too. I think it was like 2017, maybe 2018.
At the most, Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah.
It was 2017.
Okay, yeah. It's so good. It's based on actual events. It's just really sad, but also has one of the coolest action scenes I've seen in probably the past 5 or 10 years of cinema. Which it's not really a spoiler, but there's this scene in it where Jeremy Renner's character, he's like a games tracker. They're going to find a murderer, and they're questioning some people on an old oil rig. And one of the people from the oil rig is FBI is right in front of the door, and then you just see this the door just be blown open, and this crazy just shotgun being thrown right into their chests. They have bulletproof vests on, so it's not how they die. But it's so crazy. I don't know. I've just never seen anything like that. Complete silence, and then just this big.
Yeah, and you want the best scenes from those guys. You got Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen in the hospital, and Jeremy Renner and the what's his name? It's not Ron Canada. It's Gil Birmingham.
Yes.
Towards the end.
I get them confused all the time.
I love John Bernthal's little role in that movie too.
Yeah, because I had no idea he was even in the movie.
Yeah, and then he shows up 3/4 of the way through, and you're like, "Oh, that's so cool, Punisher!" It's an incredible movie.
Oh yeah.
And see, it's those kind of movies lately I've been trying to find now is where Avengers characters basically all cross over again. The big I
guess it's the Scarlet Witch Hawkeye crossover right there.
And then the best one though is Godzilla, because you have Aaron Taylor Thomas. No, wait, is that his name?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen, and they play brother and sister.
No, husband and wife in that movie.
Husband and wife?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's husband and wife.
Brother and sister is Age of Ultron.
Brother and sister is Marvel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of course, you also got Chef there, where you got Happy and Tony Stark in the same movie.
Yeah, that's true. Some pretty good ones. There are some pretty good ones with a lot of them.
I'm thinking of another topic. Anyway, number 3, Jason.
I anxiously anticipate it.
All right, my number 3 is from 2014. I'm going to go with Samuel L. Jackson as Valentine in Kingsman: The Secret Service.
That's a really cool one.
Samuel L. Jackson's absolutely least badass role ever.
But also where he's playing.
Yes,
Definitely a different role. Yeah, I would have said, and I can't believe I didn't. His role in The Caveman's Valentine, but
I don't
that's
even know
that's
that
me
movie,
forgetting.
but his Valentine, that lisp, how he maintains a lisp through the whole damn movie.
Oh,
It's
that's
so
the only thing I
good.
didn't like about the movie.
I love that. I loved his lisp and his little opening scene with Mark Hamill in it.
Yep.
That's a really fun movie, and also one of the coolest action scenes ever in that movie.
The church
The
scene.
church scene.
Yeah.
No argument here.
Can't top that.
Another one. Sam Jackson's another one, though. I think almost everyone. Well, no, okay, because he does a ton of action. Never mind. I was going to compare him to Oldman taking different stuff, but no, he's not like that.
But he doesn't have any action in that movie. He despises blood and action in that movie.
He vomits.
Yeah, he vomits when he sees blood.
He vomits when he sees himself impaled.
Oh no, that's why it would be a different role. I thought, most of his roles were different, but no, a lot of them are action.
Yes.
Yeah, they are.
And I don't even know if he swears in this movie.
Yeah, every movie does. Even Avengers, he.
I'm not sure if he actually does in this.
I think at the very end when he does die, he's like, motherfucker, and then he throws up. Like he's going for the classic Samuel L. Jackson line, but he gets cut off, which is
maybe
that's funny.
I love that. All right, James, number 3.
My number 3 is from last year. And I know I've mentioned it before because it was on our top 10 of 2020. And this was Shia LaBeouf in the role of Creeper in the film Tax Collector. And it's just repeating what I said before with all the roles he's done with Transformers and Holes and Eagle Eye and everything he's done. Legitimately, in this movie, he frightened me just a little. He's very intimidating in this movie as sort of like a drug kingpin's right-hand man enforcer. He's very scary in this movie.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one. That's interesting.
That was one of the latest David Ayer movies.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've definitely heard of it, but I cannot remember that one for the life of me.
Yeah, I remember you talking that one up before, so.
Yeah. It was the one where Shia LaBeouf got basically his whole body tattooed just for this movie, and you almost never see any of the tattoos. But still, the movie is so intense. And I mean, the real star of it is Bobby Soto, but as his right-hand man, Shia LaBeouf just knocks it out of the park.
Interesting. Cool. Okay, that's one I'm going to have to add to my must-watch.
See, sadly, I always find Shia just a little creepy in anything, really. And I think it's just it's what it is. It's that whole Transformers, almost Jesse Eisenberg, jittery, freaked out guy.
Yeah.
I kind of like that, though. I don't know. He said it really well.
Yeah, and then even when I saw him in Indiana Jones, he's trying to be a different character, but that's still all I could hear.
I think he's definitely growing past it now, though.
Oh yeah,
a Peanut Butter Falcon is a stunning film for him.
Right, I do remember that one. Yeah, that's pretty different for him.
Okay, well, my number 3 is one of my future ex-wives, and this showed me her range. Put her on the list, let's say, and it's from 2003. It's Charlize Theron from Monster.
Oh, so good,
right?
That is to date one probably my favorite performance of hers.
Oh,
it's so good.
And this is one where I just feel like she's done it all now. I don't see that as a departure. That's why I didn't include it, because she's just done it all at this point.
But that's what you got to remember. At this point,
true. I wasn't thinking that way. I know that's a way to look at it. I wasn't thinking that way. That's just me. I had to narrow my list somehow.
Well, see, it's one of my 2 favorites with her. The second one is The Devil's Advocate. That was
also
out.
All right.
Yeah. Monster is just so good.
Right.
It's
Then you dig into the real woman, and it's like, holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're almost at the top. Number 2,
All right, number 2 for me is Rami Malek in Buster Mel's Heart. Have any of you guys seen that one?
No.
Okay, cool. This is a fun one then. So Rami Malek, obviously, like Mr. Robot. I think this was in between season 3 and 4 of Mr. Robot, if I'm not mistaken. It's basically set around Y2K, and he works at a motel as like an evening cleaner or manager or something. And some conspiracy theorist played by DJ Quells comes and basically preaches the Y2K message on him, and he's like, you have to do this, and if you do this, you're going to be saved. And he does that, and the story is about like him dealing with the consequences of what he did after Y2K doesn't happen. And it's really cool.
Okay.
It's there's no better way to explain it without actually revealing a lot of the story.
All right.
But just take my word that it's a really fun movie, and he gets to speak a little Spanish in that movie, and DJ Quells is super fun, and also a movie that like is super different for him.
I honestly can't remember the last thing I saw DJ Quells in.
Supernatural.
I don't watch Supernatural.
Hustle and Flow.
Yeah, he's like a coked out conspiracy theorist in this, and he's super just intense all the time, and it's nothing I've ever seen him in before. It's so fun.
Yeah, I gotta watch it.
It's on Netflix, I think. So that should be a pretty accessible one.
I do like Rami Malek, so I should probably check it out.
Yeah, I think it's worth a watch for sure.
This is why I love these lists. We discover so much and get reminded of so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's very true.
What's this one say? Watch The Little Things. Malik is a favorite of mine. Leto is great as well.
That's a new one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one.
No. See, this list just grows.
Which one?
This list grows.
The Little Things.
The Little Things.
Yeah. Oh, that just came out this year. Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
Okay, cool. Something we can all add to our must watch.
Thank you, Ryan. Jason, number 2.
My number 2, gonna take this pretty beach bod buff little dude who can sing and dance, and he's good looking, and then we're gonna make him play Ted Bundy.
Oh yeah,
Zac Efron. And Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile from 2019.
I've heard so much about this one.
He was mesmerizing. Like, yes, the real Ted Bundy had that charisma, but holy cow, did Zac Efron tap into that? It was awesome.
There's a scene in that movie that just blew my mind, and I wasn't really convinced on this movie until this specific scene. And he's in, I think it's like a dog shelter or a pound or something, and all the dogs just start barking at him, and he gives this just devilish look at one of the dogs, and he doesn't blink. No words, no dialogue spoken, but it's just like this terrifying look. And then the dog just kind of stops barking and kind of whimpers a little bit and kind of just walks away. And it wasn't until that moment in the film where I was like, all right, you got me.
Sort of like Anthony Hopkins in Hannibal as he enters the house, Ray Liotta's house, and he just walking towards going, and the dog is just shrinking away from him.
Yeah, it's really similar to that. Like all the dogs are like growling and barking, and then as soon as he gives this like wicked, just terrifying stare, they all just back off, and it was a really cool scene.
Mm-hmm.
Which is hard to picture from Zac Efron. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it was. Until then, I was like, I don't know about this, and then I saw it. I'm like, all right, I'm invested now. Let's go.
The guy's got chops.
Yeah. And he looks exactly like him.
That was uncanny.
Yeah, I always underestimated this guy for acting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was that? 2019. 19. Okay. I was just trying to find the year. Okay. James, number 2.
My number 2 is from 2007. It's another serial killer film, but it's Kevin Costner playing Mr. Brooks.
Yes, I forgot about that one.
Very cool flick.
Still to this day, probably my favorite Kevin Costner role and movie, and just the way he plays it. Also, one of the most creepiest moments on screen that I've ever seen, when Dane Cook thinks he's about to shoot him and just hears the gun click, and just like Kevin Costner, whose eyes have been closed the whole time, just he does that typical, he has the head tilt with his eyes closed and he opens them looking right at the camera. Unbelievable.
I forgot all about that movie.
I did too. Very good.
Dane Cook's in that one as well.
Yes, he is.
That's
Who
right.
almost made my list for the same movie.
Okay. I got to revisit that one big time.
Yes.
Son of a gun. I'm not getting sleep tonight.
How much time you got? Yeah.
4:00 in the morning watching 5 films. Okay. My number 2. Oh, this is one of my best transformative roles that I've ever seen for any actor. 1988. And the movie is as serious can be. And they decide to tap into a comedian. This comedic actor had never done serious. And this thing came out and blew him up. He was already big because of the comedy. But 1988, Michael Keaton's Clean and Sober.
Wow.
Oh, I've always meant to watch this.
Oh, I watch it a lot. It is really, really good. Because, yeah, he taps right into the whole addiction side. Like, he is an alcoholic and fights against it almost, becoming sober. Oh, it's so good.
It reminds me of a movie that should have made this list before, but it was because Michael Keaton playing basically a sociopath in Pacific Heights.
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
I
just thought of it now.
I don't remember Pacific Heights.
Oh, I remember that one.
He becomes a tenant in a big house that they just heavily invested in, Matthew Modine and Melanie Griffith. Yep. And he basically becomes the tenant from hell.
But on a far more vicious scale than...
Yeah.
Okay, adding that one to the list.
Yeah, that's definitely worth the watch.
Perfect.
Okay. That puts us at number 1. Boom. Number 1.
Number 1.
All right. Okay, so my number 1 is 2008, and it's with Evan Peters. And it's American Animals.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh my God, it's so good. I love this movie so much.
Splicing in the actual interviews with the fictional footage, yeah.
Yeah, so it's about these two guys who are attending college who basically create a heist plan to steal a work of priceless art, or it's a book of like priceless art from their university because it's not guarded, because it's at a university. And they go through the entire thing of like finding art dealers and from like the Netherlands or something, and thinking about like and planning the heist, and then they actually splice in the actual people who did this heist. So it's based on a true story, and they have that style, like that documentary style, with the actual people who did this heist.
Sounds wicked.
It's amazing. It was so cool because it has that element of just because you hear it doesn't mean it's true. Like Evan Peters will tell his side of the story, and another actor will say it. Like they're like, "Oh, we had this conversation at a gas station," and then they switched and they're in a gas station. And then the other guy's like, "No, it was in a mall," and then the conversation finishes in the mall.
I love the seeds of doubt they plant towards the end of this one. It's like, well, I did he go anywhere? I never saw him actually talk to anyone, and just like, oh man, yeah.
It's, oh my God, that movie was so good. And I remember leaving the theater being like, wow, that was something different. And a little piece of Toronto lore for everyone: the director is local and was doing a bunch of like mockumentaries, and this was his first real feature film.
Oh, cool.
It was
Gate swinging.
yeah, right. I'm trying to remember. At least I think this was his first one. Maybe he had done some movies that I'm just not familiar with as much. But he did. I'm trying to remember what this is called. Oh no, I had it written down, but I don't know where it went. But like, you're all familiar with like the Toronto mockumentary scene. I'm sure, like the haunted ones and I don't know. Yeah, It's just really good, and it's the director is local. I'm pretty sure, or he's from BC. He's Canada local, and yeah, it's really good.
This is actually his latest one.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything since, and this was 3 years ago at this point, 4 years ago.
On IMDb, he's got one announced called Rogue Maid.
Interesting. Yeah, I've heard nothing from him since this. But yeah, it's his. I'm pretty sure his directorial debut, or if not his debut, I think his most like high budget, like exciting project.
It looks like it, because everything before this has either documentary or TV movie documentary in front of it.
Yeah.
TV
it's really good. I hope he comes out with a lot more, because I would watch more that he did. It's, I don't know. There was just the way he was able to like manipulate what I was thinking was really impressive.
Okay, that
and
definitely
yeah. Evan Peters is just so good in that movie, because I think at this point he was pretty much just Quicksilver and American Horror Story.
Any other Avengers in that movie?
I don't think so.
No.
Evan Peters is in that movie, yeah.
Darn it. Oh well. But yeah, I gotta check that one out. It just would have been cool.
Yeah, it would have been.
But he never crossed with any Avengers
until now.
Until recently.
Yeah. There you go. Okay, Jason, number one.
My number one. Now, this one was pointed out, not necessarily departure, but when they started doing this genre, or at least when I saw this movie, they were known for rom-coms. This was a rom-com queen who decided to become a badass again. Jennifer Garner as Riley North in 2018's Peppermint. I never watched Alias, so I never saw that side of her. I've only ever seen her as the rom-com girl.
Nice.
So to see her do a Punisher turn was bad ass. She pulled it off beautifully.
You were lucky that you spared yourself Elektra.
Oh. You know what? I have a mental block on that movie, apparently, because I totally forgot she was Elektra.
I didn't mind it. It wasn't Oscar worthy, but it wasn't horrible.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was.
It was really bad. Elektra was really bad. I'm not even going to try to sugarcoat.
I'm telling you, I mentally blocked that.
Her role as Elektra in Daredevil was good, but Elektra was bad.
Total mental block.
I can't argue.
Totally.
Honestly, probably for the best.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, Peppermint, that is, she would. Oh, Charlize Theron.
Peppermint was cool.
Atomic Blonde.
Oh.
Yeah.
She turned into an ass kicker.
Oh.
Too.
Yes, she did.
Damn.
Yeah, the female Keanu Reeves or the female John Wick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Basically, yeah. I was always equating it to a female James Bond. But no, the brutality definitely puts it closer to John Wick.
Yeah, much. All right, James, number one.
My number one's from 1997. And to this day, I think it is the only non-comedic role I've seen this guy in. It is Steve Martin in playing the role of Jimmy Dell in the movie The Spanish Prisoner. It's a David Mamet film.
That has been a
Where-
while since I've seen that one.
Not only is he playing a dramatic role, straight dramatic role, but he's also playing the villain role.
Wow.
I forgot about that film.
I'd never heard of it, so this
Oh.
sounds pretty intriguing.
It is good.
Yeah, it is very good.
Hmm.
And see, unfortunately, when I start thinking that kind of turn, all I can think of is Bill Murray in Buffalo. Oh, where
Buffalo roam?
which was horrible. So I tend not to think beyond Clean and Sober in '88.
Yeah, but Spanish Prisoner is so well done. And not just because of Steve Martin.
Big time good film. All right. I guess that leaves mine. And I'm actually surprised this wasn't on a few lists. It's from 2008, and I always loved this actor. This turned out to be his second last role and blew the world of comic movies away with his role. It was Heath Ledger from The Dark Knight.
Oh,
Yeah.
No role before it like it, and I haven't seen one to equal it since.
Yeah.
certainly
Yeah.
nothing else that he had done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because with that,
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
the only other Heath Ledger that I know I watch a lot is A Knight's Tale.
Yes.
Totally different character, but that one is more generalized to what he usually did. Whereas
Right.
this one, whew,
Yeah.
he freaked
And
out actors on
Even
set.
even more different. Brokeback Mountain.
Oh my
Actually,
gosh, yeah.
I never even
Yeah,
thought
that
of
was
that
great.
either.
All,
But,
all very good. Heath Ledger was a legend, and yeah, he's so good. The Joker is just so good.
Yeah.
Don't
Oh,
even
man.
know. There's not even anything that you have to say about it. Everything that
Yeah, there
needs
isn't.
to be
You're right.
said. It's iconic. It's legendary, and yeah, it's an incredible.
And we've seen the backlash when somebody else tries to step into those shoes because of how well he played that role.
I don't even think it's a backlash of like playing the Joker. I think it's just trying to be your own Joker. Don't be Heath Ledger's Joker, right?
And there was still backlash when he stepped into those shoes because of the people who thought only Jack Nicholson could do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it. There's a difference between hating someone because they take over the role and hating them because they suck. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I think like if you're gonna be someone as iconic as the Joker, do your own version of it. Don't do Heath Ledger's Joker. Do your Joker.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's where a lot of the backlash comes from. And I think like Jared Leto is a good example. Like there's nothing unique about his performance. It was basically just like a punk rock emo version of Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah.
Like that's what it was.
That's exactly it. You could see where he was thinking. You could see where he was going. He just didn't go the whole distance.
Yeah,
You know?
definitely. Mhm.
And he tried to do a Heath Ledger where he was over the top on certain things.
Yeah.
And it's like, look at Jack Nicholson. Jack didn't do that. You know?
Yeah. He was his own Joker. I mean, he was the Joker. So yeah, he was his own Joker. He was also the one to kind of take the weight of that role as well. So
Even Cesar Romero, if you look back at the series, you know,
Oh,
that's true.
he was a different Joker.
So silly.
But that's
Yes.
the whole show was. It fit.
Yeah, well,
the show.
there's so many different versions.
It did.
Of the Joker.
Yeah, it did fit that show. Yeah.
And I have I actually got the trade paperback of a comic for Christmas this year. It's called The Batman the Three Jokers. And there is the silly Joker, then there's the crime boss Joker, and then there's the chaotic Joker. Which one is the real one? We don't know. Like it was a fantastic read, but that's what the mythos of the Joker has become at this point.
Did the crime boss and the chaos kick the crap out of the silly Joker?
They don't kick the crap out of it, but they do sacrifice one of them, I think.
Ooh.
Can't remember who was all involved, but one of them gets tossed aside as a sacrifice kind of thing.
Thanks, dude. Now I got to read a comic book too.
Not a movie role, but still one of the most memorable Jokers, in my opinion, is Mark Hamill in the Arkham series video game.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
By far.
Yeah.
Just
even in the animated series. You
Oh
know?
yeah. Mark Hamill's the Joker is incredible, but I think specifically the Arkham series, he is something else in that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just it. Again, he took it in his own direction and he followed the path. You know,
He still had the voice, but he was a different Joker. You know.
Mhm. Yeah, someone even did that at a convention. They asked him to read Heath Ledger's "Why So Serious" as his Joker, and he goes, "But that's not one of my Joker's lines. That's Heath's line." You know.
Yeah.
That's also a very Mark Hamill thing to say, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. It's so sad that he started in Child's Play.
The only other time I heard a quote like that before, and it's not related to movies, it was from Maynard James Keenan when they were doing a interview when Perfect Circle had put out their first album, where the interviewer was talking to him and he asked him a question about Tool, and he goes, "No, I can't answer that." He's like, "Because this isn't a Tool interview."
Okay.
And it was just sort of like it you have to separate yourself from certain things.
Oh, definitely. I think it's smart, and I think Mark Hamill probably did a good thing for not doing that monologue.
Yeah.
It's probably
Now-
for the best.
On a little bit off topic, if you want to watch a good video, watch Jim Cummings reading the script of Star Wars, because he does Winnie the Pooh as Darth Vader and Darkwing Duck as the one commander, and they read the scene where they talk about holding Princess Leia hostage being dangerous.
Yeah.
He does that. He does both voices. It's just brilliant.
I remember I watched a this was a 5 or 6 years ago at least. It was at a comic convention. It was a live script reading of Back to the Future with a bunch of voice actors. And it was like Tom Kenny, who's like SpongeBob, and Grey Delisle, I think, who is Catwoman, and like a bunch of them doing. Yeah, like it was a bunch of them doing Back to the Future, which was so cool because at the time I had never seen anything like that, and I was like, "This is the coolest thing ever."
Oh man, that would be so awesome. I love watching videos like that. I do.
Oh yeah, they're a blast.
All right. Well, Nick, thanks so much for joining us. This was a great list.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. This was so much fun. I like thinking about these sort of movie things. It gives me a lot to revisit. So,
Well, then we'll definitely get you back on.
amazing.
Yeah,
Happy
definitely.
Just like next week, we actually have some people returning.
Oh yeah.
And we'll give you the topic right now. It's the best top 10 most notable tirades in films. So,
Like a rant, or
Yeah.
like a monologue, or like a shouted monologue.
basically, yes.
Okay.
And joining us for that list will be Mitch and Stefan.
Oh boy.
Yes. They actually just started their own podcast called Mitch Goes to Hell. And I love what he's done. Stefan basically makes Mitch watch films he thinks he will hate. And then he has to review them with Stefan.
These names sound familiar.
They've been on. They've been on.
Yeah. Stefan was the DP for Hit, and he's directed a couple of his own shorts. And Mitch was in Hit. He was Tracker. Not to mention, he's done a couple of his own shorts as well. And he's one of those guys where you watch a film and then later on you realize he's part of it. He was part in the movie Pompeii. And
Oh yeah.
and I found out because I told him I wasn't very fond of that film. He goes, "Oh,
Pompeii is great.
what?"
What are you
It's
talking
not
about?
bad.
Pompeii is a great movie.
Yeah.
It's a whole other discussion.
Well, okay. I'll give it another shot because I like when I watched You're Next, I couldn't stand it. But I got a little feedback from a couple people I know here, and I watched it again and I loved it. I think it was just the frame of mind I was in when I watched it the first time. So
Yeah.
For Pompeii, I just can't buy what's his name, the guy in the lead role.
Kid
Kit
Harington.
Harington.
Yeah, I don't know. I just can't buy
I
it.
think
I don't
that's
buy
what
it.
pulls me out of it, I think.
Yeah, he's just not
Jon
that.
Snow.
he's
Jon
just not
Snow?
that good. He can say Jon Snow, and that's it. That's all he can do. I don't know. Other than that, I'm not very convinced.
Well, he makes the perfect actor for that role because why doesn't he help? Because he knows nothing, right?
Okay.
That was my joke for the day. All right. Again, Nick, thank you so much.
Yes,
Absolutely.
thank you, sir.
All right. And for another week at the Movie Madhouse, I'm Rob.
I'm James.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Nick.
There we go. We'll see you guys all later.
Bye.
Toodles.
I say shut up! It's a man!